viewers and listeners. How are y'all doing? Welcome back to the Lift Her Up podcast. I am your host, Latrice. All right. And this is probably going to be one of my most vulnerable episodes. Okay. Just got to start off by saying that, but we'll get into all that a little bit later, y'all. We'll get into all that a little bit later. I don't want to be rude. I want to make sure that I give my dues and everything. How are y'all doing? Happy New Year. How is everything? You know, I love to hear from y'all. Leave me a comment. Send me an email. I love to read your comments. I love to see how y'all are doing. I love when you guys ask me for insight or just share different things that are going on in your life. I truly did miss you guys so much. I love interacting with you. Please leave a comment for your girl. Let me know how this new year has been treating you so far. I know for me, 2026 has already been a trying year, but in the best ways. I feel like the Lord has revealed so much to me already at the start of this year. And obviously, we have a lot of catching up to do because your girl been gone for a minute. Right? Like I've been gone for a while. I know, and I know people have been wondering, Latrice, where have you been? What has been going on? Maybe we didn't think that you would come back. And well, that's what this episode is about, y'all. We're going to be talking about it today. Like I mentioned earlier, it is going to be a very vulnerable episode for me. And I got to share my truth because the truth of the matter is I almost quit. Okay, I almost quit. I almost stopped doing this podcast. I almost stopped creating content. I was silently quitting internally. But the Lord kept holding on to me. But yes, I truly almost stepped away from this mic. I almost stepped away from these lights and all the things. That's the God honest truth. And we are going to talk about it, how I almost quit. Because for those who don't know, I did take a break last year, starting in the summer. I took a break because I felt like the Lord was telling me that I needed to rest. And I did do just that. I did what he called me to do. I did have a fight with him, though. I fought the stillness for a while because I felt that if I slowed down, then I wouldn't be actively doing anything. I wouldn't be producing anything. And a lot of that was tied to me wanting to feel good enough, or like I couldn't lose traction on the things that I was starting to build. So I had to make peace with stepping away. It took me a minute, but the Lord had to remind me of his sovereignty and that every moment I take away, every moment I step away, it's still purposeful, right? Anytime that we step back or even when we veer off of the path that he might want for us or desire for us, he's still sovereign to that he can use any mistakes that we might make in that time for the greater good and for his greater purpose for us. So I took a step back. If you noticed, I made a few emails. I did a few posts. I did do a Bible study during the summer as well. That's a whole other story. I don't think I really should have done that Bible study, but again, the Lord's sovereignty, right? But I'm blessed for those who are blessed by it. But I took a step back. And once I realized that I was enjoying the rest, I was enjoying not doing anything. I was away from the camera. I was away from the mic. I was away from having to prep and plan. And y'all, it felt good. I'm not going to lie. Like, it felt awesome. It felt really good for a while. It felt good not to prepare. It felt good not to plan. It felt good not to create content for an extended period of time and back to back. And that goes to show you, just for those who don't know, there's a lot that goes into making an episode. There's a lot that goes into crafting a podcast, into being a creative and all the things. And I think a lot of us, we forget that or we don't know. But for me, the planning process with being on this platform is I'm not just going to say and do anything all willy nilly, right? Like, if you know Latrice, like, I'm not the person that's just going to spontaneously do anything, especially when it has the stamp of God on it. So I'm waiting for a download from God. I'm waiting from instructions from the Lord because I never want to say anything that He has not authorized me to say. I never want to do anything that He has not authorized me to do. And so I get the download and I wait for Him. And once I get that idea, I make sure that it's nice and fleshed out, like I'm researching, I'm doing my due diligence, I'm praying over it, I'm diving into the word, I'm seeking Him, and I'm constantly asking Him, God, like, is this right? Is this what you want me to say? Is this what you want me to do? And also in the midst of that, I have this battle with perfectionism. So that internal perfectionist starts rising up, although that's something I've moved very far away from that, but those ideas and those doubts and those thoughts still come up in my mind. Like, are these the right words that I'm saying? Am I doing the right things? Is it going to reach the right people? Are people even going to like this? Is it going to be as powerful as I want it to be? And all of that back and forth, it's very draining. So the truth is, I got very burnt out with having to prepare and plan because it's not just this platform that I'm stewarding, but I'm learning how to balance all facets of my life, all of them, from family to work to church, this community, all of that. And ultimately, I know God does not expect perfection from us because He is the one that does the perfecting work, right? I know. Practice what you preach, girl, right? So I know that ultimately the most important thing is that God gets the glory and that He's glorified. But I'm also very human. I am also very human. And I don't know why the Lord is leading me here, but for those of us who consume content, for those of us who are under any sort of leader or we look towards people to give us encouragement, to guide us, maybe to mentor us, to shepherd us, whether you have a pastor, leaders, whatever, make sure you're praying for the people who are in place, the people that you seek wisdom and counsel for, because y'all, like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And as you pray for us, we are definitely for sure always covering you guys, but it can be very difficult to balance those things. And so, like, again, I'm human. I also want to glorify God, so I want to do things that are in excellence. I want to do things that are in the standard of God, and I do believe that is excellence. So yeah, factoring in all that, filming schedule, recording schedule, all this stuff takes time. It takes time to prepare an episode on top of work and supervising and family and personal life, emotional health, mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, taking care of my body, all the things. All the things, y'all. So it got to the point where I felt like I was on a hamster wheel and something had to give. And I felt as if I was not giving my best self to this platform because I wasn't taking the best care of myself. And I honestly, I wasn't having the same fun that I've come to have by creating this content for you guys and with the Lord, because that is a beautiful thing. Like, I have come to a place where I enjoy making content with God, and He gives me ideas and I'm like, "Oh Lord, like, that's a good one." Like, we're walking through this together, and then when I see the outcome of you guys' hearts being changed or you connecting with something that I'm sharing, like, that's powerful to me. And I do love that. I truly do, but I lost it. I lost it for a little while. So I took my break, took my sabbatical, and for a while I was not doing anything, and I was enjoying it. Like I said, I was enjoying it. And into this sabbatical, as I got deeper and away from the podcast, I started getting more ideas. So again, beforehand, pumping out content regularly and feeling like I had to do every single time, every single week, back to back, and come up with new ideas. That burnt out feeling also came with like a writer's block or like a creative's block. So during the sabbatical, I did start to get new ideas. Creative things started flowing, things that I hadn't thought about before. I'm like, oh Lord, again, like this is good. This is starting to feel fun again, more natural and spiritual. It just flows the way it's supposed to. But when I started getting the ideas, I recognized that that was the Lord saying, okay, like your time is coming up soon. Like you're about to come back soon. You might not know exactly when, but you're getting the idea. So that means you are going to have a release date soon. And y'all, just when I thought that I could kind of like creep under the radar a little bit, that didn't happen because the Lord started sending people my way, as He so often does. He started sending people that I know in real life, some friends, some people I go to church with, or just acquaintances that I know, saying, hey, like, are you coming back soon? Like, I missed the podcast, whatever. I miss hearing you. She would be expecting you soon. And then I would get some messages, some DMs, some emails from you guys, faithful listeners and viewers, audience. Hey, we miss you. I hope you're resting, but do miss your content. And I would say to everyone, "Oh yeah, like I'm coming back. I'm taking a break right now, but I'm coming back." And I wasn't lying. It's just I was not as excited to return as I may have wanted to be, or as excited as I thought that I should have felt about it. But these were clear indicators that the Lord was telling me, hey, like you need to get ready. You need to gear up. It's happening soon. And even in the midst of that, I have to be honest, y'all, whenever someone would ask me about the podcast, whenever someone would ask me when I was coming back or maybe why I was taking a break, and I would have to go into, oh, well, I'm taking a sabbatical right now, like I'm getting some rest. I I didn't want what came after that. I didn't want what came after that. I kind of didn't even want to think about it for a while. I'm like, can I just be? Can I just be? Not saying that I don't love the platform, because I do, but I just gotten to a point where I was just so tired, like, and if you ever been in that place, please let me know. Please let me know. So yes, the Lord was sending people my way as He normally does, and I knew it was nearing time, and it actually took me a while to sit down and formulate an episode. So even as I'm recording this right now, it took me a while to actually sit down and get all my thoughts together. But once I did, y'all, they did start, the ideas started flowing, and we got some good episodes coming this season. I promise it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So the sabbatical was great because I was able to hear God more clearly on certain things. He was able to give me new ideas and new downloads, things I never thought or considered, and it's given me the time that I need in order to feel a bit more refreshed and get the strategy that I need so that I can be a better sister in Christ to you on this podcast, so you guys can get great content and I don't have to be unhealthy at the same time. So I have learned I've learned how to rest a bit more efficiently, more effectively for me. And also, I'm still learning how to maintain that balance of producing and being and still creating great and steady content for you guys. So I was I was getting into preparation mode, coming back for this season. And as the time got closer for me to come back again, I was starting to get ideas for new episodes and new series and all types of new content. And suddenly, I started to feel this procrastination. I started to feel procrastination started to sink in to my soul, start to sink into my heart. And it was this undertone of, I don't want to do this. It was this undertone of like, I don't have to do this right now. Maybe I can push this off. And it would come in the form of, I don't have everything that I need right now in order to do this. I need another system in order to make this happen. I need another app, or I need another website. I need another subscription, or something along those lines in order to make things happen. And the procrastination was really fear, is what God started to show me. He showed me that it was fear. And I had to sit with that. And the Lord revealed to me that I had a fear of starting over. I had a fear of failing. I had a fear that this platform was all it was ever going to be. Like, there was not going to be a great shift, that it was not going to regain any momentum that it may have lost. And I was scared because I had at that point put it down for months. I hadn't returned to it in months. I was no longer consistent. It had just stopped. And that was how I felt. That was me. And the Lord was showing me that that was truly a fear of failing. And that was the beginning of my quiet quitting, I should say, because I thought, well, maybe this isn't for me, because I'm starting to feel all this fear, because I'm starting to feel all of this disappointment, and thinking about when I was first burnt out, the apathy and the numbness that I was feeling, and the writer's block, the creative blocks, and all that. I'm like, maybe that was the Lord's way of showing me that I don't need to be doing this in this season. So that was me starting to quit, silently quit. And that's when the Lord held up a mirror to me, and he was like, you have this fear that I'm not going to bless this anymore, right? Like, you have this fear that I'm not going to breathe on this, and that, again, this is all this will ever be. And for you, if things remain like this, that is failure to you. That is fear of failure. That's why that procrastination was so strong in my heart and in my spirit, is because procrastination delays you. It delays you, and it also opens up the door for self-sabotage. You start to sabotage yourself. You start to doubt, and then you start to throw a wrench in God's plans. So instead of you actually putting your hands to the plow and doing the work, you start to block what God wants to do in and through you. And honestly, that self sabotage, that procrastination spirit, is just a way to control the narrative. It's just a way of controlling the outcome. And that's exactly what I was doing. That's exactly what I was doing, because I did not want to feel the potential disappointment and the potential hurt of, well, if I keep going at this and I don't get any of the metric benefits that I think that I should have, or that I'm desiring, then it's of no use to me. It's of no good to me. But the Lord had to really reel me in from that. So again, that procrastination, that self-doubt, that silent quitting, that was what I was doing, y'all. That was what I was doing. And that was very hard for me to sit with. Again, sitting in all these emotions, also dealing with so much disappointment from the Lord, not just this platform, but just in life in general. I just thought that I should be in a different place by now. I thought that in so many different areas and facets of my life that I would be further along, and I wasn't experiencing that. And it's almost as if the podcast was a visible representation of my journey with God, right? It's like, I commit, I say yes, I'm consistent for a while, and then when it doesn't go exactly the way that I planned it to go in my head, that's when I'm like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the right thing for me, or maybe God doesn't want this for me, as if God is not good enough to give me all of those things, as if God has said that he's going to forsake me when he never has, when he never has. And I had to realize that the Lord never told me that I wasn't going to have issues. He never told me that the problems weren't going to come. He never promised that. What he promised was his presence. And that is what I started to lean into. And that is what I think we should all begin to lean into. And that really traces down to trust. All of that comes down to trust. It comes down to trust and belief. It's a belief issue because it's like, if I'm believing that numbers are greater, right, than what God can do, it's believing that even if numbers drop, even if motivation goes out the window, even if it dies, even if momentum slows down, that God is still here. He's still present. He's still with me. And even in the things that I can't see, even in the things that I don't understand, He's still working. He's still working. And that is what trust is. That is what belief is. That is what faith is. And it's like, I've been through this rodeo before, right? Like, this is just a faith test. It's just another faith test. It's, you go up to one level and then you have a test and you go to the next level. It doesn't stop. But again, God didn't promise that there wouldn't be issues. It is His presence that we have to lean into. And another powerful thing that the Lord shared with me in this silent quitting, because again, it wasn't anything that I said out loud. It wasn't anything that I had done like, oh, well, I'm just never, Lord, I'm never going to podcast again. I never said that to Him. I never journaled it. I never wrote it, but my heart was speaking it, even in the words that I wasn't saying. But He told me, as much as you might want to lie down and quit, as much as you might want to give up, as much as you may not want to return to this, as much as you want to silent quit, I'm not silent quitting on you. I'm not silent quitting on you. And I think that's a powerful thing. And I hope that frees somebody. I hope we find joy and hope in that. Like, God is not quitting on us. He's not silently quitting on us. As much as we might want to give up, as much as we might want to quit on a day-to-day basis and whatever He's given us, He's not giving up on us. And every time I wanted to pull back, every time I wanted to retract and just say, Lord, like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much for me. He reminded me of my yes. And I think that's a lesson for all of us, our yes. Let God remind you of your yes, whatever that thing might be. For me, it was always number one is Him, as it should be for all of us. But secondly, it is His people, my love for His people. It's my love for the kingdom of God, for showing people into the kingdom, for teaching and encouraging and all those things. And He reminded me that in the midst of that, there's only one me. So since there's only one me, then there's only one person that can do what I can do for the kingdom in the way in which I do it. And that brought me a lot of comfort and knowing that the Lord saw me, so please reevaluate your yes. Please think about not quitting in your purpose, even when the odds are stacked against you, because the enemy will love for us to bow out, and the Lord is rooting for us, and so is heaven. So I would like to encourage you all that it's okay for you to wrestle with what you're feeling. And a lot of us are in that place. We're wrestling with what God said. We're wrestling with our emotions. We are wrestling with what He's called us to do. And a lot of times the reward that we get, it's not going to be seen in the natural, right? But we have to know that it's being worked out for our good, and that He is producing good in us, even if we can't see the fruit yet. So let this be a clarion call for you. Keep showing up to what God has called you to do, even if it's just a few that show up, that come or see or whatever He's called you to do. Even if you just minister to one person, even if you touch the one life, one person sees you, one person sees the light of Christ, it doesn't matter. That is still a win. Like, Lord, I gave my yes, and here I am. And here I am. And that is why I'm here, y'all. That is why I'm here. And originally, I wasn't going to do this video. I was going to start the season off with a whole new series that I got coming that's gonna be so good. I wasn't gonna do the whole catch up, girl, hey, where have you been thing, but I am big on accountability and you are my community. And I felt that I owe you this initial episode just to say, hey, this is where I've been. This is what we've been up to with Lift Her Up. This is what Latrice has been doing because Lift Her Up is all about emotional honesty and biblical principle, right? That is our motto from here on out. This is where emotional honesty meets biblical principle. And that's what I want to give to you. That's what you deserve. That's why you guys look to me. That's why you found me. That's how we found each other. That's why the Lord has placed our paths together. All right. So I had to be honest. I had to be honest. I wasn't rested. I was drained. I wasn't taking good care of myself. I was falling into old emotional habits and patterns. But the Lord picked me up. He called me back. He reminded me of what I was called to do, why I had to show up and continue to sit here and talk to y'all and be the light and to connect with you lovely people. And it has been a journey. It's been a journey, but when I look back, I'm so proud of myself because the person that I was when I first started this podcast is not the person that I am today. And that makes me so joyous. That makes me so happy. It makes me hopeful for the future when I think about the dry season that I went through earlier this year. And I'm more confident and I'm more sure than ever that the Lord has called me to this space and who he has called me to. I have a better understanding of all that and I am super grateful. So if you don't hear anything else in this episode, please know that you are needed, that God still has need of you, and that he still desires you. Okay? It's okay to wrestle. It is absolutely okay to wrestle. But yeah, that's why I'm here, y'all. I didn't quit because God didn't quit on me. And because he didn't quit on me, he's definitely not going to quit on you. All right? So if you made it all the way to the end of this, thank you for listening to my ramblings about how I almost quit this pod, and I pray that it blessed you. If it did, I want you to put in the comments, don't quit. If you made it to the end of this episode, put don't quit in the comments. Make sure you share this with a friend, you like, share, subscribe, leave a message. Let somebody know that you enjoyed this. Also, one announcement. I have a free devotional, a 5-day devotional, and it is called When God Seems Far. Yes, it is in the description in the show notes. If you are on my email list, I can send it to you, but you have to be on the email list in order to get the devotional. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys excellent content this year. Please, it's in the description again, and it's free.com. All right. So I missed y'all again. I love y'all. I hope you miss me too, but it's okay. I won't be gone for too much longer because we will be back next week with another new episode. And, until next time, remember to stay encouraged. Bye.